Quick overview of the life of Gandhi. Upbringing/early life. Gandhi was born in October 1869 in India. In school he was an average student, but even at a young age people were beginning to notice that he held very strong principles. When he was 19, he moved to London to study law. He returned home to India, but he soon left for South Africa to work in a law firm. He stayed in South Africa for roughly 20 years. At the time, South Africa was part of the British Empire, as you can see circled in red. They treated people of colour there very poorly. Now, let me tell you of a very early example of non-violence. Very famous, so let me tell you the story. The train incident. Gandhi was once riding on a train, and since he was a person of colour, his seat was supposed to be given up to a European. But he refused to give up his seat, so he ended up being thrown off the train. This caught many attention. Non-violence. Gandhi was not deterred. He chose to fight against inequality using no armies, no weapons, only peace. Peace, peace, peace. Using non-violence. This gained him the utmost respect from the Indian people. In 1914, the same year World War I broke out, Gandhi returned to India. Gandhi was determined. He soon started the Swadeshi movement, apologies for the butchered pronunciation, which basically was a boycott of British goods by the Indian people. People at home were asked not to pay taxes, not to buy clothes from the British, so many people at home started making clothes and many other items. The Salt March. At this time, India was also part of the British Empire, as circled in red. Indian people were only allowed to buy salt from the British, and they had to pay a gargantuan amount of tax on it as well. This meant many Indians were not able to purchase salt, which was very important, as remember, there was no refrigerators back then. The salt was used widely as a preserving agent to keep food from going off, and it was also very important in the Indian diet. Gandhi organised a salt march in March 1930. As they were marching, they were joined by thousands and thousands of freedom fighters. This shook the British Empire. Let's learn more about Gandhi. Gandhi was arrested, and since the British were shaken, Gandhi went to London to discuss reforms, but these failed. Gandhi formed the Quit India movement in August 1942. He was released from jail in 1944. India later, thanks to Gandhi's efforts, gained independence from the British Empire in 1947. Only a year later, Gandhi was assassinated by a radical Hindu. His long-lasting legacy. One of the most important things about Gandhi is the legacy he left behind, that we still feel today. Over the course of his life, he proved that goals could be accomplished without using force. This might seem like common sense, but people for many years tried fighting things such as inequality or governments that they did not like with violence, with disastrous effects. Gandhi fought the discrimination faced by the Indian people, and he was very successful in doing that. In a larger sense, he was a crucial factor against the fight against the discrimination of all people, not just Indians, as he formed the groundwork towards the modern fight against inequality, and himself and the philosophy he practiced inspired people such as Martin Luther King Jr. and many others who each have allowed society to take a step towards eliminating discrimination once and for all. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Unfortunately, I have not been able to cover everything, but if you are interested, feel free to check down the sources in